Hey y'all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be trying out a new to me semi-permanent hair dye line called Good Dye Young. I do get my hair professionally lightened and dyed by a hair care professional, but in between hair dyes, I do like to freshen it up myself with these semi-permanent dyes because my hair grows out fast and my natural hair color at this point is white. Back in March 2019, I did post a video showing how I did dye my hair previously with Arctic Fox dyes, but I decided I wanted to try something new, so I am trying this brand. As just a little bit of background, Good Dye Young was actually created by Hayley Williams, who's the lead singer of Paramore, and that girl always has amazing hair colors. Now, do I think that she always did it herself and never had a pro do it? It's a little sus. But since I know that she likes really bright hair dye, I do have good hopes for this and I've seen some good reviews. They have been certified as cruelty-free by PETA. They are not on Leaping Bunny's list, just so you know, but they are on PETA's list and they also are vegan. You can buy this via their website or via Sephora and they are $18 for a tube of this. Now, just so you know, Arctic Fox is $17 for a bottle, and this is 8 fluid ounces. Good Dye Young is $18 for a tube, and this is only 5 fluid ounces. So Arctic Fox overall is definitely a more inexpensive brand, but the thing is, when it comes to my hair, I don't necessarily care. I just want it to be the best. So I have been letting my hair go. I've been letting it go for so long and really shampooing the hell out of it so that we could get the best possible results. As you can possibly see, this is my natural hair color. Like if you look at that, it's just like, it's turning more and more white every single day. You can see in my roots how long they are now and how it's literally just white. So one thing I noticed with Arctic Fox is that it did not cover whites fully. It would make them a little bit brighter, but then they would shine back through. And to be honest, I'm not expecting this as a semi-permanent dye to completely cover white hairs, but I would like it to be a little less noticeable. Also, while I'm keeping the same color scheme of red to orange to yellow, I feel like I want this orange to be way more vibrant. So I'm hoping that this really helps with that. So with Arctic Fox, you have the color right on the bottle, but with these, all tubes look the same. I got yellow, which is Steal My Sunshine, orange, which is Riot, and red, which is Rock Lobster. Rock Lobster! The way you're supposed to start off is by shampooing your hair, but not conditioning it and having it fully dry. So I have already done that. You can see this is what my color looks like. This is what my texture looks like. I'll be honest, when it's all finished, I really do want to do my hair a little bit more than this because my hair does just hang very flat and very straight like this. So I'm going to take you into my bathroom and we're going to do my hair together. Welcome to my bathroom. So like I mentioned, all 3 of these tubes look the same. So I have to admit, like, I wish it was right here on the front, but we do have stickers on the bottom that show you which is which. So I will be good. It's just like having to touch this with all my, hair dye hands to know which is which. I'm just going to set these in order, but I am going to start with Rock Lobster.
Club will go all night. I see you in the back, the mood is right. If I just had your number, I would let you know how I feel. You walk up to me, start dancing to the music and the chase, like this was meant to be. Take my hand, I feel my heart beat, and I don't want this moment to stop. Time to go home. Don't want this night to end. Yeah, about time we stop pretending. Come home with me. Let's write a history. Tonight I'll make you see. It's all about us. It's all about us. As we're dancing close together, making out. It's all about us. It's all about us. There's some magic in your eyes, can't get enough. Feel your hands, the way you're touching me around my neck. Got chills down my back, you do it right. The way you're holding me, no.
All right, I just finished applying the dye, and there's a few very first impressions, I guess you would say, that I want to go over. Now I am going to be comparing this to the Arctic Fox because this is what I've been using for almost 2 years now. So the very first thing I would say is with the red dye, which is Rock Lobster, I used so much more dye than I normally use with the Arctic Fox. Like, I want to say I used like half of the tube. And if you think about it, I'm only dyeing from here to like right about my ear level. And I really soaked it in and I really pressed it into the roots. Whereas, you know, obviously the hair that's down here, I'm not pressing it into roots. So there is that, but I used so much dye. The other two colors I used about my normal amount, but the red was kind of extreme. Also, if you're somebody who likes scented hair care products, which I really do, I love my hair to smell nice, there's a big difference between these two. So Arctic Fox smells like grape. It sounds really weird and I hate the taste of artificial grape, but I love the smell so much. These definitely have a more chemically smell. It's not bad and it's not overwhelming at all. Like, you could do it in a very closed bathroom and be completely fine. There definitely is a little bit of a more pungent smell to this that I don't love, but that doesn't matter. If the color looks great, that's all that matters, right? The only other thing that I was slightly concerned with, now I know that the way the color looks coming out of the tube is not necessarily how it's going to represent once it dyes your hair. But did you see that yellow? That was straight up fluorescent orange, okay? Even when I put it on my hair, it was orange. So I'm really curious to see how that one's gonna come out in particular. The orange color though, which is Riot, that looked red. So the red looked red, the orange looked red, and the yellow looked orange. It's very strange, but if it looks good, if it still comes out red to orange to yellow, that's all I care about. So I did dye my hair the exact same way I always do. As you saw, I have it all bundled up. And also, as you saw, I do put a piece of toilet paper in between the end of my hair when I bring it up, just so that the yellow does not get mixed in with the red dye. It helps that out. They say leave it in for at least 30 minutes. I never do that. So I'm gonna leave this in as long as I can. It is right now 10 a.m. I'm gonna see if I can leave this in till about noon. I like to leave mine in for a very long time because these also are supposed to act as a little bit of a conditioner, a deep treatment hair mask. So I'm gonna leave this on for a few hours and then I'm gonna rinse it out and we'll see what happens. All right, so it's a little after 1 p.m. now. I did rinse out my hair at noon, as I stated, so that was 2 hours with the hair dye in my hair, and that's what I normally do. Again, they suggest 30 minutes, I do 2 hours. And forgive my stained towel, but once you decide to dye your hair red, everything you own is going to have little splotches of red hair dye on it. Just mark my words. I've had it in this hair towel ever since, but before I take it down, I do want to note one thing. So because the yellow at the very bottom of my hair is obviously much lighter than the red or the orange, when I rinse it out, I try to hold out the yellow end and rinse out as much hair dye as possible before finally rinsing out the yellow. So that way, it's not a bunch of red and orange hair dye rinsing into that yellow and staining it a different color. So here's the thing, I did that this time and I held it out, and then right as I went to rinse the yellow, I saw a whole bunch of red come down from an area that I had apparently missed. So I had to do it all over again and rinse everything all over again, but I think that probably a significant amount of red and orange hair dye leaked into the orange. So I'm not gonna be too judgmental if it's not bright yellow, but let's see what we have, just the wet hair. All right, this is my wet hair. You can definitely see a difference in color. I wouldn't call this yellow, but no, that's definitely just fluorescent orange to me. That is bright orange, but again, that could be from the hair dye rinsing into it, but we're not really gonna see the color until my hair is dry. And also, I think the color tends to really pop a bit more when I have makeup on. Is that just a me thing? I'm gonna go do that, like now. There we go. All right, so hair is all dried. I did use my Dyson Airwrap today, and if you haven't seen my video on it, I will link it right up here. I really do, what are my thoughts? So I like it. This is obviously way better to me than what I had prior. My roots are covered fairly well. You can see some, I guess, hot spots where the actual white hair is, but for the most part, it's covered. There is a definite gradation from the red to the orange, but I would not call this yellow. That, again, could be my fault, but here is the after. I didn't necessarily mean for this to be a video just comparing Good Dye Young to Arctic Fox, but here we are. As far as conditioning goes, I really do feel that the Arctic Fox conditioned my hair a whole lot more. Once I rinsed this out, I did have to use a bit of conditioner in my hair just to get it so that I could rake a comb through it. And even still, when I did comb my hair out, it was very, very knotted up, which basically says to me that it was not very conditioned. It still felt okay, but it didn't feel as nice and deeply conditioned as when I use Arctic Fox. I definitely prefer the orange and yellow tones in Arctic Fox for sure. Those show up orange and yellow on my hair, whereas this just sort of looks like maybe red into an eventual orange, but I don't know. I feel like the tones just aren't enough for me. I don't dislike this at all. Please know that. I don't dislike this, but I will say that overall, I think I do prefer Arctic Fox for my hair. But let me know what you all think. Take a look at my video where I use my Arctic Fox. Take a look at any of my past videos for the past 2 years and let me know. I think I do prefer Arctic Fox, but maybe there's something you're seeing that I'm not seeing. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm so glad I finally got to dye my hair. I swear I haven't dyed my hair in like 8 weeks, and that's a long time for me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help out my channel. You all can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are all GlitterFallout. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars. I love you with my whole heart. And I will see you in the next video. Why am I doing this? Like a dramatic reading? I don't know. Bye.